Hello and welcome back to another episode of White Album 2. We are playing through the closing chapter with Mari-san's Route. Haruki just slept for 40 hours after his little escapade with Mari-san.
大丈夫よ。北原いびきとか歯ぎしりとかしなかったから。
そういう問題じゃ。
I now understood the mystery of the blanket by the sofa, as well as the fact that the troubles I've caused Mari-san have been piling up like interest to a loan shark since that day.
ごめんなさい。本当に俺どうやって償えばいいのかまだわかりません。
私はもうそのセリフは飽きた。
それでも俺まだ自分が許せません。マリさんに許してもらったことも納得できてません。
まだそんなこと。
いつまでも言います。蒸し返します。俺はそこまでひどいことをしたんだから。
バカ。
As much as she calls me dummy, she doesn't seem to show any sign of ridiculing me with the word as always. Instead, it brims with a mysterious, loving compassion, or perhaps kindness, things that are indescribable by words alone. Mari-san's unique and relieving voice is filled with such things.
バカはマリさんの方ですよ。
Don't call her that.
なんだと？おい、それはどういう意味だ北原？
That's why I can't accept that uplifting, nice form of reprimanding from her.
そうやって頼られるまま誰にでも世話を焼いて、それで裏切られてたらどうしようもないじゃないですか。それで人を見る目があるなんてとんだ自信過剰です。俺を信じるなんてピエロもいいところです。
What a cruddy thing to say to someone. He's basically saying, I can't be trusted and I'm gonna cheat on you. I mean, that's really what he's basically saying.
生意気なことを言うようになったな。それも師匠の教えの賜物だとは思わないか？
思いませんよ、全然。
I can't accept the absolved way Mari-san refuted that.
だいたい今のお前の言葉には誤りが2つある。私は裏切られてなんかいない。それと誰にでもじゃない。
Because I feel so unworthy, I can't help but succumb to the urge of crying in a seemingly casual conversation.
なんと言われようと俺は謝り続けます。ごめんなさい。そしてありがとうございます。
As much as Mari-san won't accept my apology so easily, she at least accepts my desperate attempt to be grateful bashfully. Her response pleases me, but it pains me more at the same time.
なあ北原、私今からそっちに。
いえ、そろそろ帰ります。
そうか。
Even though we had the same conversation just 2 days ago, Mari-san's reaction is completely different from what it was back then.
まだ自分の中で消化しきれてないことはたくさんあるけど。
That is a smart thing to say. I'm sure that her reaction has changed with my own. Hearing my voice, my choice of words, they're all different from what they were before.
それでもマリさんのおかげで眠れるようにはなりました。ここからは体力と相談して悩もうと思ってます。
ゆっくり休めよ。年末年始の分もまとめてな。
This was yet another worry, or rather, yet another debt I had to pay off.
近いうちに心の整理をつけたらまたマリさんにお礼を言いに来ます。
待ってる。
その時に一昨日のこと決着をつけたいと思ってます。 There's nothing to settle. You guys have already settled it.
何度言わせれば気が済むんだ。私たちの間にトラブルなんか何もない。
何度言わせれば気が済むんですか。それじゃあ俺の気が収まらないんです。
本当に強情なやつだ。
譲れないところは絶対に譲るなと教えられました。俺の仕事と人生の師匠に。
そんなに年の差はない。一 失礼なこと言うの？
They really don't. I wish they didn't keep bringing it up. Like, someone who's 5 years older. Mari-san is still in her 20s. That's not old.
それじゃあ切ります。
なあ、もうちょっとだけ待ってないか？私今日は早く帰るからさ。
Aw, she wants to see him.
まだ俺マリさんに顔を合わせられません。勘弁してください。
そうか。
And also, that's surprisingly mature of him to say that he really needs time to really think about his own feelings. That's good. I'm proud of him for that. I'll give him that. I give Haruki a hard time, but that's good.
さようならマリさん。本当にありがとうございました。さてと。
As I ended the phone call, I indulge in the view of the sun's rays as they sidle ever so slightly to the west from where they were before. From that cold yet radiant winter sky, I feel as though I've gained a tiny bit of newfound courage.
やっぱりいないか。にしても私の部屋じゃないみたいだ。あいついい主婦になるな。
Didn't I say back in the very beginning, she needs a house husband?
布団まで干してある。しかも消臭まで。なんで自分がいた形跡をわざわざ全部消していくんだ、あいつは。
Oh, she wanted to, like, get his scent.
余計なことしやがって。
Happy New Year. Well, I guess 10 days have already passed since the new year. Sorry for the late New Year's greeting. Though I wonder if I should be apologizing for attempting to check up on you so casually like this. If you see this text and find it ridiculous, then please just block my number. I'm well aware of how much I've wronged you at least. But I somehow always end up thinking about you, so after hesitating a lot about it, I decided to text you. How have you been? Did you come to university today? Have you been able to return to a proper early morning lifestyle? Though I guess I can't imagine you oversleeping, Haruki-kun. Or perhaps you've been unaffected by it all? Have you let it all go completely and started a new life? I'd feel relieved if that were true, but at the same time, I'd feel a bit down as well. See, that's really not fair of Setsuna to be saying. Like, yes, I do think Haruki's fault for pretty much everything, but, like, she dumped him, and he needs to be able to move on with his life. Clearly, she knows that. And now she's texted him again, like, I'd be sad if you moved on. That's not cool. Perhaps I'm contradicting myself? Well, I'll end it here. Final exams are coming soon. Let's both work hard, okay? I don't even know how many dozens of times I've read this text already. It was Setsuna's first text since that day. Her first text after more than 2 weeks had passed. From the odd fact that she had free time, the fact that she's being more polite than usual, as well as the formality of her text title, I could tell that she was feeling the same sense of distance that I am. After we parted the way we did, it must have taken an extreme amount of courage for her to contact me of her own accord. Though I suppose Setsuna understands that as well. She knows that after we parted the way we did, neither of us would have had the strength to initiate contact of our own accord. Happy New Year. Thank you for your text. I'm not angry with you at all, and there's no reason for me to be. I guess I can only be mad about not being able to contact you myself. I've been going to university since yesterday. There's a lecture of which the paper's submission date is fast approaching after all. As for how I'm faring, well, I can't say that I've completely gotten over it. I've been living my day-to-day life properly. I've been going to my part-time jobs, studying for tests, and just living the ordinary university student life. It's not like I can advance in my life and studies if I don't continue on. Oh, good, that's a good thing to know. Enough about me, though. How are things with you, Setsuna? You've only been worrying about me in your text and didn't write anything about yourself. It's actually making me quite worried about you. I'm glad that you've contacted me, but you should also write a few lines on what's happening in your life, you know? In the end, I forcibly leave my usual words of sermon before my thumb reaches for the send button. At least, that's what I had hoped to do, but in the end, I pointed toward the backspace button instead and held it down for a long while. Okay, well, it was a thought, I guess. The many lines of words on the LCD screen get erased, turning my tens of seconds of hard work to naught. Tens of seconds, who says that? There's no reason for me to feel upset, though. After all, this is something that's happened tens of times before already. I should head home. It's Wednesday, 2 days after the winter holiday had ended. The sky that should have adorned the campus today is dull and gray, as the cold air and the howling wind blend together, subjecting us to the harshness of the winter. I'm just kidding. He even kids around in his own mind. The reason I held such resentment towards what was merely the sky today was because of the confused feelings that I've been harboring since last night. The reality of which I'd been hoping for, yet unable to look directly in the eye. I guess contradictory is the only way I could describe it. Setsuna's text made me genuinely relieved. Even with its simplicity, she still maintains her usual gentleness and slightly forced forwardness. It's good that she's recovered. She hasn't written anything about it, though, and while I can't tell how she is now, at least she's back to her life in society as she used to. She's living a more proper life than I am. What does that mean? And because of that, I can't proudly face Setsuna the way I am now. There's no way I could go meet her. All because I've done something terrible, so terrible, that anyone would harbor contempt for me if they knew. And also because that matter hadn't reached a conclusion yet.
北原ですけど、松岡さん、マリさんいますか?
That's why. It's about time I settled this. I need to be honest with Mari-san about everything.
マリさんですか? 俺です。北原です。
I need to tell her what I've always wanted her, of all people, to hear. More importantly, I need to tell her that I need her help.
ええ、今大学です。昨日から授業始まってます。
As much as I've cut our ties of my own accord, and as much as I don't have the right to ask for help because of that, I'd be content with her just hearing me out.
はい、そこそこ元気にやってます。ちゃんと寝てますよ。1日4時間も。
That is not enough sleep, wow. About what happened 3 years ago, about Kazusa, me, a story about 3 people.
それが普通ですから、俺。マリさんに比べたら十分すぎますよね。
About the 3 years that had passed since that day 3 years ago. About the 2 people who remained since then.
それで本題なんですけど、二人きりで会えませんか?
As well as the previous banter on the day before the editing department's Christmas party. The incident where I had come to both cause and receive pain simultaneously. Where I had come to cause. Whew, that is a tough sentence. come to both cause and receive pain simultaneously. The real reason I got hurt. The person who ended up really getting hurt by my actions.
マリさん。
The reason why I did those terrible things to Mari-san that night, a reason worse than my very actions toward her.
すいません。無理ですよね。あんなことしておいて、こんな勝手なもして、忘れて。
I must tell Mari-san of the loneliness coming from being unable to meet with Setsuna, thickening like the snow that fell upon us that day. And how they culminated into the astonishing truth of me ending up shoving such a muddy flow of dark feelings that had festered within me onto her, despite Mari-san having nothing to do with them.
いいんですか？本当に？ありがとうございます。
That's really mature, though. He really does need to spell this out and be like, look, this is why I am a wreck. Because otherwise, they're going into it without understanding what's going on, and that's not smart. When I tell her that's all that I've wanted to say, I have no doubt that she'll be completely disappointed with me this time. Worse yet, she might even begin to despise me deep inside.
ええ、時間と場所はそちらに合わせます。今週は一つもバイト入れてないし。
Even so, I have to talk to her. If I want forgiveness, I can't get it without being completely honest with her. It's because I want to be in the same workplace, to be accepted as a new employee a year from now.
わかりました。じゃあ、連絡待ってます。
I completely understand that this is perhaps the most selfish request ever. Even so, I want to return to those days, the days of having that relationship between a caring senior and an unreliable junior.
ありがとうございました。それじゃあ、お疲れ様です。
Mari-san's really irredeemably kind. Facing my selfish request of wanting to meet up, it's not a selfish request. Not everything has to be negative. I could have sworn that she was so scared that she couldn't respond. Yet she accepted my request in the end. But I'm glad. From here, I just have to wait for Mari-san to tell me the date and time of our meeting. All that's left is for you to just wait a little while longer, Setsuna. After I make my decision, after I completely settle things here, I'll catch up with you again. And then, I will tell you all that I've done, and if you can still look me in the eye after all that, I promise I'll face you again, Setsuna. Even though I know I'll never be forgiven by you. It's a good step forward.
いや、そんなに遅れてないです。約束の時間からは。
It's 1:15 a.m. on Sunday at the moment. At first, when Mari-san initially decided for us to meet up at the bar the three of us went to before, at 1 o'clock on Sunday, I suddenly asked the off-point question of, a bar open during the day?
どうしても片付けておきたい仕事が手間取って、明日はさすがに休みたかったし。
確か先週の土日も全出だったんですよね。
その前まで5連休取ってたんだ。仕方ないよ。
Working non-stop until 1 a.m. on Sunday is an impressive feat by itself. It seems Mari-san's labor standards are full of holes, as always.
何飲みます？
それじゃあ最初はビール。いや、今日は酒はやめとこう。ジンジャーエールで。
大丈夫ですか？
私が酒を頼まないというのは、それほど目をひんむいて驚くことなのか？
I mean, it is a bar.
熱は？気分はどうです？寒気がするとかありませんか？
人が予防線張ったというのに、お前というやつは。
It's not that I'm trying to tease Mari-san's deliberate attempt to feign being strong. It's just that she really doesn't look to be in the best shape today.
飲まない理由は2つもある。だって北原、今日は真面目な話なんだろ。
マリさん。
さてと、それじゃあ乾杯しようか。
Mari-san takes a sip for the ginger ale that was served in front of us less than 30 seconds after she ordered it.
お疲れ様でした。
That's why I put aside the unnecessary questions such as, by the way, what's the second reason? And the like, and brought my own glass to Mari-san's.
今週はほんと疲れた。仕事の進捗も悪かったし、休みボケがまだ残ってるのかな。
そういうこと言うから心配になるんじゃないですか。
If she's working in a state like that, it's no wonder that she's not making any progress.
そうよね。余計な心配かけてごめんなさい。でも本当に病気なんかじゃないから。
Maybe she's just worried about you.
そうですか。ならいいんですけど。
それで何話って。電話じゃえらく深刻そうな声だったけど。
あ、じゃあ俺実は
ちょっと待って、お手洗い行ってくる。
That was sudden. Okay. Is she really okay?
バイトやめようと思ってます。
Ooh, that change in expression. Mari-san finally returned and sat on her seat when my glass of Coke was about half empty. Despite this, I knew I'd only be replied with, I'm fine, even if I expressed my worry about her condition, so I immediately cut to the chase. As Mari-san seeps into silence wearing a stern look, I can't tell if she's acting like that because of what I just said, or for another reason.
いずれ正式に挨拶に伺いますけど、マリさんには先に言っておくべきだと思ったから。
Oh yeah, she's big mad.
私はテスト期間中は休めと言っただけで、やめていいなんて一言も言った覚えはないぞ。
俺の判断です。
However, Mari-san's clicking her tongue at me right now, undoubtedly because of what I just said.
マリさんには迷惑かけることになるかもしれませんけど。
迷惑なものか。仕事を始めて少なくとも2年は教育みたいなもの。足を引っ張りこそすれ、会社に利益をもたらしたりしない。
Ouch.
そういうものなんですか。
松岡を見てみろ。あいつがいい例だ。
Well, we all know there's a big difference between Haruki and Matsuoka.
本人も気にしてましたけどね。いつも松岡さんをオチに使うのはどうかと。
あれであと2年すればちゃんと使えるようになるんだ。会社ってのはよくできてるんだよ。
へえ。
まあ私はバイト時代から頭角を現していたけどな。
Is this all she has to say after all? And here I thought she was about to explain something more complex.
でもそういうわけだったら俺が辞めても問題ないですよね。どうせマリさんの役に立ってるわけじゃないんだし。
どうしてお前は対極的に物事を捉えることができないんだ。
ただの給料泥棒だからじゃないですか。
会社的には後で回収するはずの必要な投資だ。ひよっこがそんなこと気にするなんておこがましいんだよ。
Mari-san, who didn't seem to look all that well from the start, is getting increasingly cranky, the thorns in her words getting sharper.
でもそろそろ就職活動も始めないと。
うちに入るんだから、うちで働くことこそが就職活動だ。あんまりうだうだ言ってると内定出ても取り消すぞ。
意味わかりませんよそれ。
うちの会社にうじうじしたやつはいらない。
Oof. She means that in more ways than one, too.
いらないならここで働いても就職活動にならないんじゃ。
いい加減にしろ北原。お前、私を怒らせるためにわざわざ呼び出したのか。
そういうつもりじゃ。すいません。
And with that, Mari-san behaves like a child looking sulky, puts her lips slightly to her glass, and brings about an excessive frown. I get cheered up every time I get scolded by her like that, as usual, even if only a little. I brought up my intention of resigning and ended up displeasing Mari-san to such an extent, and as paradoxical as it is, I'm admittedly a little embarrassed.
ねえマリさん、
なんだ。
俺本当に海洋者を狙ってもいいんですか？もしかしたらマリさんの部下になるかもしれないのに。
お前がうちに入ったらグラフに抜いてくるに決まってるだろ。何のために人事の同期と今でもつながってると思う？
結構打算的な友情ですね。
I mean, some people need friendships like that.
嫌なのか？私の下で働くことが。
That is not healthy at all, actually.
いえ、嬉しいです。本気で。今の言葉だって本当に感謝してます。
だったら。
でも俺、マリさんにあんな。
Oh, not again.
何もなかったと何度言わせれば気が済むんだ。
そう簡単に拭えるものだなんて思ってないです。俺もマリさんも。
あんなものティッシュでさっさと拭えた。まあその後クリーニングに出したけど。
俺のしたことは女性に対して最低に卑劣な行為です。許されるはずないんです。
そこは突っ込んでもらわないと。
無理ですよ、そんなの。笑い話になんかできるわけありません。
After all, Mari-san, didn't your shoulders start to shake the moment I brought that up? Haven't you distanced yourself slightly more from me compared to when we came here before?
でも厚かましいかもしれないけど、マリさんがいつか忘れてくれるなら前向きに償いたいって思ってます。
Mari-san's current attitude admittedly makes me feel a little lonely, but I do my best to speak positively.
来年の春、きっと俺編集部に戻ってきます。一生懸命働いて返しますから。だから
今すぐそれをやればいいんだ。遠慮なく限界まで償わせてやるから。
今はダメです。俺がいたたまれません。気持ちの整理まだついてないから。
そこまで落ち込むくらいならあんなうかつなことしなければいいんだ。その気もなかったくせに。だから落ち込むなって言ってるだろ。いや今のは蒸し返した私が悪い。忘れて。
What an awkward interaction. This is not fun at all.
はい。
She's doing her very best to act cheerful around me, though there's one thing deep down in my heart that I can't ever forgive. I did mean to do what I did back then, which is why my feelings are all over the place right now. It's why I can't remain calm in front of Mari-san. I had acted the way I did toward Mari-san back then because I did indeed see her in that particular way. For now, I just need to put some distance between us and let things cool down until I no longer view Mari-san as a woman. Haruki, that's not how life works. You can't just be like, oh, you're not a woman. Like, that's stupid. Though I wonder if I can really do that.
今はそーっとしておいてください。その代わり1年後、もっと使えるやつになってから胸を張ってマリさんの下に戻ってきますから。
生意気言いやがって。
Mari-san's voice was sulky as it should be, but it was mixed with a little bit of an accent that sounded like a pout.
自分の気持ちばかりで人の都合を考えない。これだから近頃の若いやつ。
マリさんだってバー
ボン一番強いやつ。ロック、いやストレートで。
今日は飲まないって言ってませんでしたっけ？
飲まなきゃやってられるか。せっかく私が。
マリさん。
Honestly, I shouldn't be thinking this, but as usual, she's exceptionally cute whenever she pouts. As I thought, they really are similar. Stop, cut that out, Haruki. Alright, and we will stop off there for today. Thank you so much for joining me on this part of Mari-san's chapter of White Album 2. Be back with more shortly. Until then, I hope you take care. See you!